How should any political party use any group of persons in the name of vigilante group or traffic outfit or tax forces, as the case may be?
They've also tasked members of the public to call on the police if they notice or witness any threatening occurrence. That's it for Campaign Roundup. Back to you, Chamberlain.
Well, thank you, Ini Thompson, for that roundup. Actually, more questions just coming through to us, but we do hope we'll have time to attend to at least some of them. But we'd like to remind you now that you could send your tweet question to us. Remember, the last time out, we did ask you, do you think INEC is ready or not? And so, well, this is the current one, actually, where we ask you to, while you hashtag Nigeria 2015 in your tweet to us, tell us hashtag will vote if you will, or hashtag will not vote if you will not vote. Don't forget to use the hashtag with the words leaving no space, one word, and then you could tweet at any of those Twitter handles you see there. And don't forget also, you can send us an email, nigeria2015@channelstv.com. Well, I think we should bring you the last question of the last time on the program was, did you think that INEC was ready or not? And so we collated the response from those who participated and then put it in this chart to show you a representation. That was when all the argument was being made about whether or not INEC is ready. And so those who said INEC was ready, 56%. And those who said no, they don't think INEC is ready, 44% of those. So don't forget, keep your tweets coming through to us. We'll appreciate all those tweets coming from you, as well as your emails. Well, a panel of analysts are here with us, Innocent Chukuma and Demola Oshodi. Mr. Chukuma, I mean, you're used to some of these polls, and sometimes you see the polls and you ask yourself, whoa, is this what they really think? But if you look at the statistics and how much of those, in fact, let me bring that to the figure of the internally displaced persons. INEC also spoke about it in that meeting they had with political parties and the Parties Advisory Council. The figures we have from NEMA, NEMA tells us in this figure that there's a total number of 743,062 displaced persons. Of this figure, 676,975 of them were displaced by conflict, and then 66,087 displaced by natural disaster. But they've been speaking about it, whether or not the IDPs will be allowed to vote. What do you think?
You see, when you hear these numbers, you just see them as statistics. But when lives or spaces are put to them, you begin to realize the magnitude of Nigerians, the number of Nigerians that may be disenfranchised in this election. If you look at Ekiti election and Osun State election, the number of people that actually voted, I think in the Ekiti State, it was about 400,000. And in Osun State, about that figure. So you are looking at two states that run the risk of being denied, the right to vote due to no making of theirs, but just the happenstance or the circumstance that they happen to find themselves in a part of the country that is locked in conflict. So I really feel for them and hope that INEC and other stakeholders that need to support them to ensure that those people are provided frameworks within which they can freely do what those of us in other parts of the country take for granted. That's one side of it. Then the other side of it is that if you look at the nature of IDP management in Nigeria, IDP, internally displaced persons, you find out that only few of them are actually in camps because we don't have a well-organized state infrastructure for taking care of our own people when they run into these kind of difficulties. Majority of them now are with family members, with friends, with churches. Some of them have relocated from the centers of these conflicts and violence. Some of them are moved to the east, some affected in Meduguri, some are found in Gombe and in Bauchi. So you begin to ask yourself, as much as we expect INEC to do everything possible to make sure that they vote, those who have relocated or who have joined family members, friends, and churches, how is INEC going to do that?
We're winding down.
Well, basically, the issue of the internally displaced people and their opportunity to vote is it is quite tragic. But unfortunately, you know, it's something that I believe that Nigeria is doing its best, especially INEC. I think we need to ensure that as much as possible get them registered, whether they're in camps in Borno State or camps in Abuja, or even people that are even displaced in, you know, moving around in Port Harcourt or in Ibadan. It's challenging, but we can only just, INEC can only just make that effort to ensure that they get that right to vote. But I think, I'm just quickly mention the fact that we're concentrating too much on the PVC and its internal people that have been displaced. We also need to look at other reforms that INEC may not have done, or, you know, we will not see until election day. Issues of, you know, people being accredited simultaneously at the same time. Issues of, you know, women representation. We have issues.
Let me take on Kayode Idowu about this. Well, Mr. Idowu, about the IDPs, I mean, I heard INEC in that report, which we played some time ago, about them, those who were in government camps are the ones in that meeting you had. Has anything changed? Because we just heard that you have many who are not in government camps.
Thank you very much for that question, Chamberlain. Incidentally, that report is wrong. What the Commission proposed to stakeholders, and which the stakeholders have largely endorsed, is that voting centers will be set up actually by reason of principle outside camps, but in locations that are accessible for both IDPs that are in camps and IDPs that are in host communities, such that they can come out to those voting centers and cast their vote. The only exception to that, and that is at the instance of the stakeholders when they went for the consultation at the local level. The only exception to that is in Borno. The Commission proposed to create voting centers outside the camp, but for people to come out from the camps and the host communities to vote. But the Borno stakeholders preferred that camps are more secure, and that they will prefer that people in host communities are given access to also come into the camps to cast their vote, because there is better safety in the camps. And
all right, Kayode, we have to go. Thank you very much indeed, Kayode Idowu. Kayode Idowu is the Chief Press Secretary to the Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, speaking to us about the goings-on with the elections. Of course, I know lots of other questions, but for now, there's more information to come to you about a poll. Well, Mary Alale Yusuf is here to give us that update. Mary.
Thank you, Chamberlain. Here on Talk Back, we've been looking at all the controversies surrounding questions about the secondary school certificate of retired General Muhammadu Buhari. There have been speculations as to whether it exists or not, whether it's authentic or not, and we've been asking you this question all week. Should Buhari's certificate be an issue? What do you think? Options are yes, no, and indifferent. To vote, just go to channelstv.com and check one option and click vote. Now we have a brand new platform that you can try. You can call 01-404-1219 from any network and follow the voice prompt. People are still giving their opinions about the retired general certificate. Here are some out of Oyo State.
The school principal had produced the certificate. So, I guess that may be enough, most probably, except the other party wishes to, ascertain the legitimacy of that certificate.
This is not the first time the general will be contesting the election. Subsequent to elections, what happened to his certificate? What did INEC do? Why didn't they come out then to say that he didn't have a certificate?
That's it on Talkback. Let's go back to Chamberlain now for the rest of Nigeria 2015.
Well, thank you, Mary. Incidentally, that's where we have to draw the curtains today on the program. Yes, I know. We have to thank our panel of analysts there. My far left, Mr. Innocent Chukuma, who serves on the Fourth Foundation. Thank you for coming on this evening.
Thank you.
Damalo Shadi, policy analyst, thank you.
Thank you.
And then Kayode Idowu also did join us from Abuja via Skype. Well, don't forget to keep those questions coming through. Will you vote or not? Just hashtag will vote or hashtag will not vote. Well, that's the show today. We thank you all for watching. Don't forget, the program comes to you again Friday by 8 p.m. And so from everybody here today, good night.